Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Here's a quick fact. July 15 is designated by the United Nations as World Youth Skills Day. The aim is to encourage youth to celebrate the value of acquiring skills like building, making, and creating as a way to achieve personal success and fulfillment. Acquiring skills enhances young people's ability to make informed choices and empowers them to gain access to changing labor markets. The National Youth Service is one of the agencies in Jamaica that have been equipping young people with the necessary skills to build themselves.
Skilled person. So I love to explore and I love to pull and fix. I'm curious about life and what it's worth.
I'm a part of the Special Olympics team for Westmoreland.
I'm also a Special Olympian. I'm proud to be one.
I have a lot of medals, but the bad thing about it is not a lot of gold, but it's medal.
As the first race I won, I came dead last.
A guy run left me. And this year, I went back to Kingston and I make up my mind and say, you know what?
I don't make no Kenyan person run with me again.
Because guess what? I want it 1 out of 1. I don't want to be 2-0.
So I take it and for the whole week, I train until that the race will come. I'm win it by far.
And accomplish, will achieve.
The experience was nice. I learned some new things. And every time I can take shortcuts in our work.
Thank you for the National Youth Service. I think God put it on this earth really for people with disability. It is a great program, a wonderful program. It helped me to realize a lot of things in this world. So I can think about other things and go at them. Not just sit at home and playing games, watching TV, because I know that won't help me.
We have been privileged to go through this experience with all of these young persons. It has been both a learning experience for us, the staff at the NYS, as well as the young persons. We saw the young persons developing their own personal and professional skills. If you or someone you know has an intellectual disability, you can refer them to the National Youth Service, where our program fully caters to their personal and professional needs, where we will be sure to assist them in transitioning into the world of work.
The National Youth Service, empowering Jamaica's young people.
Education is very important, and the Jamaica Social Investment Fund has recognized the needs of certain schools across the country. The agency has been joining finances and hands together to create an atmosphere worth attending for the students of these institutions. Watch this.
The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight.
A pillar of Jamaica's development plan, Vision 2030, points to the need for access to quality education. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, continues to make significant contributions to the education sector in Jamaica. They have been effectively mobilizing resources from the CDB Basic Needs Trust Fund, EU Poverty Reduction Program, and the Petro-Caribbean Development Fund, with the aim of improving learning environments. JSIF has successfully completed phases 7 and 8 of the CDB Basic Needs Trust Fund BNTF project. One of the components of the project was to support the expansion and rehabilitation of 9 primary schools across Jamaica from the shift system, as well as to reduce overcrowding in some schools. The Mandeville Primary and Junior High and the Christian and Moravian Primary Schools in Manchester were 2 of the beneficiaries.
Mandeville Primary and Junior High, we transitioned September 1, 2017 into the whole day operation. from the shift system. JSIF has been an integral part of the transition in providing us with 12 new classrooms and also with a sanitation system.
Before the Jamaica Social Investment Fund intervened, Christian and Mervyn Primary and Infant School was bursting at the seam. We had an enrollment of over 1,000 students with very little space in which to accommodate them. Since the JSIF intervention, we have received 10 new classroom blocks, fully furnished. There was also a rehabilitation component to the project. Our block was rehabilitated, the bathroom facilities were improved. It has boosted the morale of staff, of students, of parents and guardians and other stakeholders.
Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay.
In 2009, the Ministry of Health indicated that 235 primary and junior high schools were using unsafe, unhygienic pit latrines. JSIF, through the Petro-Caribbean Development Fund, embarked on removing these outdated facilities. This initiative has since led to the construction of 51 sanitation blocks in primary and junior high schools with over 20,000 beneficiaries.
JSIF has undertaken a huge initiative here. Prior to 2015, we were using pit latrines, and since June of 2015, we can now safely say we are boasting the use of modern toilet facilities.
The bathrooms was very messy.
It was terrifying
when there wasn't any pipes at the pit latrine, because sometimes when we were coming up from using bathroom, some persons forgot to wash their hands because there wasn't any water.
I was glad because it was nearer to the classroom. We have running water. It was more cleaner. It was more comfortable on the toilets. I have more privacy.
Parents would have expressed concern they don't want their children to be coming here to be using pit latrines, but with the new bathroom facilities, we have had an outpour of students coming here. Over 92 students. Prior to we had 65, and the number is growing.
Do all the good you can to all the people you can, in all the ways you can, just as long as you can.
The JSIF Poverty Reduction Program, PRP, in partnership with the Community Renewal Program funded by the European Union, took on a 48-month project targeting economically marginalized individuals, costing over 1.9 billion Jamaican dollars. The project's objectives are to promote growth through education by improving early childhood institutions, aiding entrepreneurial development, and providing internships, workshops, skills training, as well as tertiary and vocational scholarships.
I got the JSIF scholarship in my final year at the University of the West Indies in 2015 while pursuing a degree in marine biology and psychology. In my final year, I actually had applied for a student loan, but in receiving the scholarship, it covered my entire school fee, and as such, I was really elated, and I actually sent back the money that I had gotten from student loans.
The Jamaica Social Investment Fund has been a major player in the implementation of several possibility projects across Jamaica.
Thank you, JSIF.
And the CDB.
Thank you, JSIF, and the Petro-Caribbean Development Fund.
Thanks to the JSIF PRP program, I really appreciate the scholarship. It helped me in many, many ways.
JSIF, investing for community development.
What about Jay?
No, go to general, no school, no work, no nothing.
Check this out. Maybe it can help you. There's some me.
Are you between 18 and 24? Have you dropped out of school to look for work? Improve your chances by joining the National Service Corps. We will get you trained and certified and give you the start you need. This program has been designed to equip you with the core skills and support to succeed in the world of work. Grab your opportunity now. Apply for the National Service Corps program. Get trained, get certified, get ready for work. For more information, contact a Heart Trust NTA or National Youth Service office. Oh, I forgot about all of that. How could I have left off the area code? Yes, folks, if you do not dial 10 digits when making a call, the same thing may just happen to you. While I go redial, watch this next feature and find out more on the 10-digit dialing effects.
Jamaica's 876 area code was created in 1996 during a split from our original area code, 809. The 876 area code currently serves the country's two mobile operators, Flow and Digicel. But in August 2017, a new area code, 658, was implemented, prompting the country to start using 10-digit dialing. The Office of Utilities Regulations is the agency mandated by the government to assign numbers to our telecom providers and other entities.
So the OUR projected that we will be running out of numbers in another few years under the 876 area code, and in order to mitigate against that, we would have to get another area code which would provide millions more numbers into the local system for us to use. We're not going to use it yet, because we are projecting again that in another 18 months to 24 months, the numbers on the 876 area code will be totally exhausted. So in another few years, then you'll see the 658 area code being used. So when we talk about 10-digit dialing right now, we're talking about the 876 area code, because that's the only one that's really in use now. So it's 876 and the number you're wishing to dial.
To ensure everyone fully grasps the concept of 10-digit dialing, a permissive period from May 31 to October 30, 2018 is now in effect.
We're saying to Jamaicans, get used to dialing 10 digits in anticipation of when new numbers come under the 658. And 10-digit dialing is important because we want persons to start to change their behavior. So if it is that you take up your phone and you dial 7 digits for the person you wish to dial or call, 968-6053, you will get a recording from any of the telephone service providers. There's a standard recording that you'll hear. The voices may differ, but the message will be standard, approved by the OUR, reminding you that you are really to dial 10 digits, but your call will be put through.
10-digit dialing is now in effect for all local calls. Please remember to dial the area code 876 before the 7-digit number you are calling.
After October 30, if it is that you still are dialing 7 digits only, you're going to get a different kind of recording asking you now to hang up and dial 10 digits. So the 5 months is to get you into it. What does it mean for customers? It means that we'll have to manually dial 10 digits. Not only that, in our telephones, we have to ensure that we have numbers in our phones that include the 876 number, the area code. Some persons who have non-smartphones will have to manually update their phones to include that 876 number in all of their contacts. However, for smartphone users, we have been told that there are apps on the Android Play Store or in the iPhone.
Those persons who will be using apps on the Apple and Android stores to update their apps, you are being warned to read the instructions carefully.
Persons and companies really need to sensitize their staff as to what it is about and if they need to make any changes to their telephone systems and even their personal systems, their phones and so on.
Jamaicans are mixed on their responses to the new system.
To be honest, a lot of people out there, I don't think they're ready. They're not prepared. I guess they need more understanding of it.
I never heard about it, but I thank you that you are telling me about it now. I'll try and find out some more about that, like research on the internet.
You have to get changes. No care what, you have to get changes. So you're not ready. But it not come till next year. So probably we're going to get used to it.
I think we're ready, you know. We're ready for the changes. But based on the amount of numbers that in circulation at present, you find say at some point in time you're going to run out.
I don't know what to feel about it because this one we have has been working good. So I don't know what is the change for and what it's about, and I don't even remember the new code.
I think it's a thing that will be hard for the elderly, not for the young people, but for the elderly, because sometimes they can't even remember the 7 digits, but to remember 10 nowadays, and it's going to be very hard.
Well, I don't really have no problem with it because we already done used to dialing numbers. So 876 is our code, so nothing wrong with add it into the number where we are dialed.
Change is good and I'm ready. I've changed over all my numbers to the 10-digit codes that they say that you need to do, so I think I'm ready.
Mixed emotions from more citizens, but the Office of Utilities Regulations will be continuing its sensitization meetings across the island to ensure more Jamaicans are informed.
More life.
More memories.
More moments.
Jamaica Moves is a call to action to prevent non-communicable diseases. Get active, eat healthy. You can protect yourself from high blood pressure, obesity, asthma, certain cancer diseases, and more.
Lupus is a disease often diagnosed in young women between the ages of 15 and 44. Doctors have described it as a systemic autoimmune disease that occurs when your body's immune system attacks your own tissues and organs. When that happens, though, do you know what to do or the extent of the effects? Check this out.
I was diagnosed with lupus in 2008, but from my own knowledge of what is happening, I must have had lupus all my life, as it were, because I've always been having symptoms. But the challenge that I had was that I was always misdiagnosed. And so that is the focus of my, the challenges in terms of, the doctors would think that I have something else and not lupus, but you'd have different symptoms. But I have systemic lupus, and lupus is not only systemic, but some persons just have what we call discord lupus or other little types, joint pains, and so on. But I have the full works. Well, I was extremely disappointed because I felt, oh my God, I have lived a good life. I have always been careful about what I eat. I've always been sure to exercise. I've used to be nice and slim and beautiful. And to hear that now I have this condition, I did not want to believe. And then it got worse after the diagnosis. You know, I had periods where I couldn't work at all. There was a 4-year period in my life that I never worked. I just couldn't work. I was just always sick. I was always in hospital. Sometimes I'm in intensive care, sometimes I am unconscious, sometimes I'm all kinds of things. So it has not been a very wonderful ride. In 2014, I became, my kidneys stopped working. So I was now in renal failure. And it means that I now have to go to dialysis. So there were days when I would just be so weak. My blood count, that's HB, would fall to a very low level. I had to get blood. I had to look at what I eat. I had to look at how much I do. I had no energy most times. I couldn't do anything. I just had to lie down in my bed. So just different things. You couldn't walk sometimes. Sometimes I can't talk clearly. Sometimes I can't see. Sometimes my hands are so sore and I can't use them. Sometimes just different things. My lungs would fail. Different things would happen. So I've been through the ropes. Mentally, it was devastating because I feel that that's not supposed to happen to me. So I went through that period. I actually went through a period of severe depression. I was just so depressed. I could not help myself. There were days I just cry and cry and cry. And part of that too is the medication that I take. Some of the steroids make you depressed. And then you look into the mirror and you look at yourself and say, who is this? I don't know you. Can I tell you, I have learned to love life and to live. And that is what is important to me. Each day counts. And I believe that I should live each day to the fullest. With lupus, there is this uncertainty. I don't know when I will be unconscious again. I don't know when I will die. But I am going to maintain the quality of life, and I'm going to have a good life, and I'm going to live. I have good family support. My husband is extremely supportive, my son. So I have them, and I have good friends. Good friends, the saying goes, good friends are better than pocket money. Then there's also the Lupus Foundation, which is important. There is a support group there. There are excellent rheumatologists there who will provide advice and help and care and just information. There's a whole host of books and tapes and all kinds of things that you can get information from. There is also the website that you can look at and get information as well. I've actually gone for job interviews and I know I don't get a job not because I'm not qualified, but because I have lupus. So employers need to understand that people living with lupus can actually contribute and, make adjustments. There are days, for example, after dialysis that I will come to work a little bit late, but I will work later to make sure that the time is there. I have learned that. It has no boundaries, it has no behavior, it has no conscience, it has no purpose, it has no time. It does what it chooses to do whenever. And therefore you need to be aware of yourself and what are some of the things that are your triggers, and therefore try to manage and monitor those. You must also be mindful of the medication that you have to take and take them carefully and take them well. You should also be mindful of your appointments with your doctors and make sure that you keep those appointments. I would say to you, help is available. Find some help, find some support. Talking about it helps. Don't feel that it is because you're special or you're being punished why you have lupus. But recognize that this is just another thing that could happen to anybody. Anybody, color, class, or creed, rich or poor, man or woman. There are more women with lupus than men, but men have lupus as well. And so be aware of the symptoms, get help, get treatment. Don't hide away. Don't think that people obey you, because Jamaica is famous for that. But know that this is a condition that can be controlled. It cannot be cured. It can be controlled, and you can maintain a healthy life. Seek to work, seek to be involved, do what you're doing, treat whatever is happening. If it's depression, get it treated, get treatment, get help. Help is available.
To learn more about lupus, contact the Lupus Foundation of Jamaica via their website lupusfoundationjamaica.org or 754-8458. You may also visit them at 7 Barbados Avenue, Kingston 5.
Mommy? Yes, sweetie? How can I change my world?
You can change your world by being polite.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Miss.
With just one action.
We can change the world with acts of random kindness.
Stay kind, act kind, be kind.
It's summer and the heat is on. You're probably thinking of visiting the beach or river to cool down. No problem. But when you go, grab a hook and line and consider catching some fish. If not, just ease off the chicken and buy a fish by the beach. Here's why.
We all love our protein. Chicken, beef, pork. But how often do we eat fish?
Is it only at Easter time or when you're at the beach? Incorporating more fish into your diet can be very beneficial to your health. Compared to red meats and poultry, fish has far less calories and cholesterol.
It's the saturated fats and the trans fats that our bodies use to make cholesterol. And fish and seafood have very little saturated fat and trans fat. So in truth and in fact, that makes it a very healthy source of protein.
Fish also has iron, which is important for good reasoning and memory, iodine, which can prevent mental problems in children, and selenium, vitamins, and carotenoids, which are antioxidants. Who knew that we could get so many nutrients from fish? And that's not all. Incorporating fish into our diet can even reduce the chances of developing certain diseases.
Studies have in fact shown that people who have a higher intake of fish compared to other meat sources have less heart disease, they suffer from fewer mood disorders, and they have less cognitive decline with age, so less dementia.
This is due to omega-3 fatty acids, a nutrient that is only found in a few other food sources, such as walnuts and flax seeds. But oily fish, such as sardines, tuna, mackerel, salmon, and trout, are excellent sources of omega-3s and are readily available at your convenience in supermarkets. So we want to add fish into our diet. In what ways can we do this?
So escovitch fish is one of our favorites. Now the onions and the carrots and the vinegar and the pimento, that's all fine. But we don't want to do a lot of deep frying. Deep frying adds calories. Nothing like a nice steamed fish, a nice roast fish. And when you roast your fish, you can stuff it with wonderful vegetables like callaloo and so on. So we have to find other ways. Many of us have broilers as a part of our stove and we've never utilized it. We don't know how it's used. And that gives us, I think, the closest taste to fried without adding a lot of oil.
So we've got different styles of cooking the fish, but what about flavor? Jamaicans love adding salt, but fish is already salty. Wouldn't that be too much sodium?
If we utilize other things like lime and lemon juice and or fresh seasonings or scotch bonnet pepper or onions or scallion, we can make our fish flavorful without adding a lot of extra sodium.
That sounds really tasty, but watch out for bones. Make sure to debone fish before giving your children. Even if the fish is bought deboned, check for fine bones with your fingers. If you're not careful, you could end up with a medical emergency. The recommended serving size per week is only 8 to 9 ounces of fish, or 2 to 3 servings per week. With an array of health benefits and a variety of ways to cook it, don't miss out on this lifestyle choice. Make a positive impact on your health by adding more fish to your diet.
Hear this. Youth, older people, mature people, anyone who is listening right now, don't wait for extraordinary moments. Seize small opportunities and make them great. I've learned that through this experience. So if you have an idea, there's something that you want to do and you have not sought out an avenue, trust me, the time is now. Get it done.
This is where the magazine closes for today. I hope you found our program informative. Send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@gis.gov.jm. Stay informed on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, there's Twitter. Or download our app on your Apple and Android devices to catch up on the go. You can also visit our website, gis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.